All right, we are live. We are live. It's 5:16 p.m., 1 minute past the official start time. And Brevet Dance put in the comments, it was time. Yes, it was time. And we are live. And this is an emergency intervention broadcast. We've got some folks on Facebook, again, being misguided and getting bad information, and some folks basically saying that as long as it's your opinion that a watch is a luxury watch and that a watch is a stunner and that a watch is a great watch to buy and own, as long as that's your opinion, then you're right. And that's just like saying it's my opinion that an Audi is more reliable than a Toyota. Well, your opinion in that case would be wrong. A Toyota is more reliable than an Audi. A Toyota is more reliable than a BMW. A Toyota is more reliable than a Mercedes. The statistics, the data support that. A Grand Seiko Stunner like this one is more accurate and more robust than just about any other dress watch out there, probably any other dress watch out there. Okay? It's stunning on wrist. It's robust. Now, for some people, this might be too big. This is 38.5 mils, right? There are other options, watches that are smaller. So obviously, people have preferences for sizes, watch design, so on. But if they take it to the point where they think that just because it's something they like, that they're correct, oftentimes they're not correct. Oftentimes they've either gotten bad information from so-called experts, or they simply have poor taste and they end up buying an ugly watch. And I just hate to see that happen. I hate to see that happen. It happens time and time again. And so on this channel, we try to head that off at the pass. We try to give people advice that's sound advice and allow them to make the right choice. Okay? Educate them, if you will. Triforce Rich is in the house. He's saying Rolex, Rolex. See, and a lot of people, that's a perfect example. A lot of people are paying way too much money for steel Rolexes right now. They're hyped up. They're going for way too much money. And a lot of people are going to end up getting burned on all that. They're going to end up getting burned on that. Brief at Dance in the house. Good morning, Vietnam. And we do have the Watches app up. So we are interacting with the Watches channel, on the Zello app. Link is in the description. Go there and figure out and plug yourself in. Durr's done so. I don't have any opinions on anything. The only thing I have are facts. Two major facts I know is that Tudor sucks and so does Joe Biden. See, those are indisputable facts. Indisputable facts. Carla says, hello, Craig and all Southern Perimeter team on foot patrol. Okay, good. Hi, how do you buy gold coins? I haven't bought any for a long time. I bought some years ago directly from the United States Mint. And I don't know if that's still the best way to buy them or not. You'd have to kind of research that a little bit. But that's how I did it years ago. Rocky Raccoon's in the house. I own a Rolex Yachtmaster 40. So I'm pretty invincible when it comes to the Taste Olympics. There you go. I mean, he made a good choice. He got a stunner. The Yachtmaster has a great case design and shape. It's nice and trim. It can even be forced into an all-arounder mode if necessary. If you've got a big enough wrist to pull that off, right? That could be an all-arounder. 2 thumbs up for the Yachtmaster 40. Not a debatable thing. That's a good move. A better move, and again, this is controversial, but true, a better move than buying a Rolex with the super case. Now, they did soften the case a little bit on the newer model. Still not as good a case as the Yachtmaster 40. Yachtmaster 40 poops all over the sub. Okay, so here's the thing. Here's the thread. This was a thread. I guess earlier today. Let's see, when was this posted? Yeah, 10 hours ago. 10 hours ago. This is the thread. And Durr says, Yachtmaster 40 is a wonderful watch. It's crazy that it's not more popular than it is. Well, the people are hyping the wrong watches. They're hyping the wrong watches is what they're doing. But here we go. This guy said, have you noticed in the watch world, if it's not my opinion, it's the wrong opinion? And a whole bunch of people commented here, okay? And I went ahead and I commented here. I said, correct. Just look at some of the watches folks buy and share here. There's no doubt many need guidance. For example, a luxury watch is not made of steel. And I shared a picture of the O2 Stunner. And then Matt Harold chimed in and said, Craig Ship or made in Japan. In other words, a luxury watch is not made in Japan, right? I'm going to click on view 12, previous 12 replies here. See if we can open this up. Okay, so then I responded. I said, actually, the best luxury watches are made in Japan. And then I shared a photo of Breeze 038 to illustrate the point. And then Matt said, they really aren't. And again, so see, here we go. He's just clueless. He doesn't understand the quality of Grand Seiko. He just doesn't have a clue. Again, this is only for those, this channel, I will have to clarify something. This channel is only for those who actually buy watches to wear and use as a watch. Not somebody that's buying an investment, not somebody that's buying something to be in the box and to occasionally look at and occasionally share a photo on social media. This is for a watch to be worn in heavy use situations, okay? Where you actually are depending on the watch. You want accuracy, you want a robust watch, you want a watch that looks great. This is what this is for, is people actually wearing watches. So let me move along here. Craig Ship, I'm going to have to disagree. Grand Seiko Cess Crater has nothing on FP Journe. We don't have to go independent watchmakers to see A. Lange and Son, Grand Seiko Crater for breakfast. Okay. In other words, he's saying all these other ones are better watches. No, they're not. That's just like saying let me give a good example here. That's like saying a Lamborghini is a better car than a Toyota LS 460, right? It ain't. It's going to break down. It's going to give trouble. It's going to be expensive to service. It ain't a better car. It might be a better thing to have in your living room, but you don't want to be driving that thing every day, okay? You don't want to be using that thing, all right? So, and again, on this channel, we're talking about things we're actually going to use. And then this guy shared this picture from this watch from Hodinkee, and he says, exactly, then you have real luxury, and then he put this link, and it's a white gold watch. It's square. It's kind of rough. It's kind of like, it's not very, it doesn't have smooth edges. It's boxy. I mean, it's just blah. I mean, and he thinks that's the ultimate in luxury, right? Because it's a tourbillon and all this nonsense, right? All right, if you just want something silly to brag about in the watch forums, go ahead and buy that. But I wouldn't want to wear that thing every day. First of all, I'd want yellow gold. So he's wrong right there, right off the top, buying a white gold watch. And, you know, some of our wrench gang members have gone off the reservation and done the same thing, but oh well. Matt, of course, if you want to watch it looks like it's steel, so somebody doesn't hit you over the head and take it, maybe white gold is the way to go. Matt Harold says, George Daniels is great, but personally, I like Philippe Defleur's designs. Okay, blah, blah, blah. To each their own, but I think we can both demonstrate real luxury to our mate Craig. See, they don't have a clue. You know, to me, it's not luxurious to have something that is expensive to maintain, not practical to use. If that's your definition of luxury, live in that kind of luxury world. I don't want the aggravation. Okay. I don't want the aggravation of having to totally deal with service departments all the time and be ripped off and have all kinds of issues with my gear and my equipment. I want my gear and my equipment to function. All right. Just like this cashmere coat I'm wearing, this Oxford cashmere coat. It's warm. It's comfortable. I can move in it. Okay. It works. It does the job. Okay. Is it a skinny fitting, goofy looking, modern day sport coat? No. Gets the job done for me though. Okay, gets the job done for me. So that's what we're about on this channel. So let's continue here. Let me find another comment here. These guys are going back and forth a little bit. Here it's going to get a little juicier here. Okay, so here I responded to him, and I said, in regards to those other watches he mentions, I said, actually, the SBGY002 is on a higher level. And then I put a picture of it, right? And then this guy shares again. He says, okay, my point isn't even arguing which watches from which brands are more luxurious than others. Your constant pretentious bullshit, caring at all what other people wear, and flat out complete misunderstanding of what luxury means, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So now see, because he realizes that I'm right. Now he has to go to the insults, right? He has to start insulting, right? He probably studied up on the O2 and looked at some photos and so forth online and learned a little bit about it and was saying to himself, oh my God, this is the best dress watch ever made. Why would anybody want any other dress watch other than the O2? It's that good, right? He probably came to that conclusion. So now he says, the only way I can argue with this guy is to try to insult him, right? And then I responded, let's see where I responded. Okay, I responded. I said, I could care less what other people wear. I simply choose to wear the best. Life is too short to wear ugly, poor performing watches. And then he shared a thing. He said, spelled out in your very own words. And he shared where I said that a lot of ugly watches are shared in the forums and so on and so forth. And I replied to him, I said, that is simply stating a fact. Doesn't mean I care what they buy. If I really cared about such things, I would have lost my mind years ago. That said, I've helped hundreds of thousands make sound decisions over the years and will continue to do so, blah, blah, blah. And so he thinks because I talk about what people should buy and I talk about the best options for timepieces and so forth and cars and clothing and all kinds of things, he thinks that means I care what they buy. They can go out and buy whatever they want. Now, I'm going to point it out if they made a mistake so that other people don't make the same mistake. But you spend your money any way you want. I'm not in the retail business. I'm not selling any of these items. Okay. Now Steve does advertise on some of my websites and so forth. So I do, it indirectly benefits me if somebody goes and buys a watch from Steve because he'll probably keep advertising with me. But these shows, I talk about what I buy and use and what I recommend. And do I give three you-know-whats if somebody goes out and buys something else? Hey, knock yourself out, right? Now, I don't necessarily think it's a good thing if people buy the wrong things and waste their money. But the key word is it's their money. That's the point. They can do what they want with their money. Okay, let's get caught up on this thing. Okay, here we go. Oh, good. Let's get caught up. Craig, why haven't you and Bree been crying and sweating over BTC prices? Hey, it's on sale. It's a buying opportunity. It's time to buy. Hey, when the price goes down, don't cry. Buy Bitcoin when you can buy something at a deep discount, step in and do that. Wow, that guy's a bigot. Okay. Indeed, they're Stayful. It would take a whole lot of Submariner owners to admit they got it wrong for the Yachtmaster 40 to be recognized for what it is. And Bitcoin does what it does, and I'll be okay with it. No problem. I'm not selling. Yeah, actually, I think you just bought a bunch of GBTC, which, you have exposure to Bitcoin, and that's a good way to do it in a Roth IRA. Not financial advice on the channel, but that's what I do. My Roth IRA has a lot of GBTC in it. And all those gains that I've had over the years, which are significant, are all tax-free. So you got to have strong hands, folks. If you can't hold through the dips, you don't deserve the pumps. Okay, you got to take your lumps to benefit from the pumps. LOL, Craig, telling off these high-end yamokes. Um, I like my women like I like my watches, Asian, hot, and hardworking. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Craig, these guys are douchebags. They think by liking fugly, halt horology pieces, it somehow makes them sophisticated. I mean, I don't know. I just don't get it. I mean, sometimes when you look at a watch, you should be able to tell, hey, that's just going to look like crap on my wrist, right? It shouldn't be rocket science. This should not be difficult, any of this stuff. Now, some of the watches that these guys, you know, push and promote and so on and so forth are nice looking watches. The Rolex Pepsi is a great looking timepiece. You know, I wore those back in the day. I wore Coke back in the day. But I wouldn't pay the hyped up prices. There was another thread in here on one of the let's get the O2 out just a hair. There's, there's another thread on in one of the Facebook groups. Somebody asked the question if the folks in there thought that how did they phrase it? Something about what would happen if the prices of Rolexes stopped going up and if all of a sudden things started going back to normal, what would happen? And I basically said that it's like any bubble. It's like any bubble. When you've got a whole bunch of people that bought simply because they think that the price is going to keep going up, right? They think the price is going to keep going up basically forever. That's why they bought. Those people are going to have weak hands when the market adjusts, and it ultimately always does. And those are going to be the first people that are going to start selling, right? And generally what happens in these kinds of things is there's a cascading effect where word starts getting out that the prices are dropping, and then more people start piling on, and it's the speculators, it's the people that bought watches they don't need, extra watches, and they have them new in the box still. They never worn them. They didn't want to have a scratch on them. And those are their investments, right? That have gone up in value a ton. They think that they've gone up a lot. Like they've got a Pepsi. They think it's worth double retail or whatever, right? And they've convinced themselves of all this. And then when things go south or even start going south, they're the first ones to start panicking. And they're going to call that gray market dealer that they bought the watch from, hey, I need to sell the Pepsi. And that gray market dealer will have gotten 10 other calls, within minutes from 10 other guys saying they want to sell their Pepsis, right? And real quick, prices are going to start being adjusted accordingly. And the crash could be epic. It could be epic because it's pure speculation. And people say, well, you could say the same thing about Bitcoin. It's pure speculation. There are a lot of speculators in Bitcoin, and that's why it's volatile. That's why it takes these big dips. But there are also sophisticated investors with strong hands that are adding to their positions all the time. And Bitcoin is a strictly limited asset. It's limited to a strictly limited number of 21 million total units. Rolexes are not. They're not that limited. Okay. They're making like almost 1 million of them a year, right? So there's huge numbers of these watches being produced, and there are a lot of them that are in the hands of speculators right now. A lot of these watches. And until that's shaken out, and until those watches are actually in the hands of end users, you won't know what the actual real value of those watches are. You will not know that until there's a shakeout. Okay. With Bitcoin, occasionally, every once in a while, there are big shakeouts that shake out the weak hands, shake out the speculators, the guys that are longing it and shorting it, they get wrecked, they get liquidated and so on. And over time, it slowly but surely moves to the stronger hands. And that's why the march is up, 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 up and to the right, with the drawdowns, and then it goes back up again, drawdowns, goes back up again. That has been the history of Bitcoin over 13 years. Now we'll see if that continues. I'm betting big time that it's going to continue, that we're going to continue to have pullbacks. We're going to continue to have liquidation events. But slowly but surely, the network will continue to grow. This is the key thing, is the growth of the network. How many nodes there are, how many mining operations there are, how many users, how many people have Bitcoin wallets on their devices and so forth. The volume that is being taken place of transactions on the network, if all that continues to grow year over year, like it's been doing, pretty much doubling every year, if that continues to happen, the only thing that can happen is the price can go up. Now, if for some reason adoption slows, that's the time to start getting concerned. If the network is no longer growing out, because the whole thing is, the only reason there's a long-term value proposition with Bitcoin is if it becomes the default way of moving money on the internet. If it becomes the protocol to move money around the world on the internet, if basically what's used is Bitcoin rails, if you will, a lot of it probably on the Lightning Network. If that is what comes to fruition, which is, it looks like that's the trajectory, that's where we're headed, then yeah, it's designed to pump forever. The price is designed basically to go up forever because more and more people will be using it all the time and locking it up in Lightning nodes and using it for other purposes and using it as a savings account. And all these things will just continue to happen. So, okay, let's get caught up here. David Ritten says, "Hey, Craig and all. Hey, how come nobody's chimed in on the watches group? I'm monitoring right now in the watches channel on Zello, Zello. David, are you in? Did you install Zello on your phone? Are you in the watches group? I don't remember seeing you in there. Durr's been in there. Steel Daytonas have broke into the 40 plus barrier and are selling. Yeah, time to freaking sell. Time to get the heck out of there. That is way, way overblown. Way overblown. I would get out while the getting is good. That's what I would do. That's what I would do, is get out while the getting is good. My gosh, you could almost, you could buy a
Southern
Bitcoin for that.
perimeter is under control. Under control. Over.
Okay, we just had Carlos check in. The southern perimeter is under control. $40,000, you can pretty much buy a Bitcoin for that. Let's see what Bitcoin's at right now. I'm reloading as we speak. I'm reloading. Pro.coinbase.com is what I'm trying to bring up here. And when it comes up, I'll bring it up on the screen. Okay, here we go. So Bitcoin is at $36,539. You could actually buy one whole Bitcoin for the price of a Daytona right now. That would be a heck of a move. That would be a heck of a move. 10 years from now, I think it's a really good bet that one Bitcoin is going to be worth a lot more than a steel Daytona in 10 years' time. So there you go. Craig, need to start calling weak hands Democrat hands. Craig, are you aware of any gold pens? Gold pens. I think was it um who was it? It was
I'm Archibald Chesterfield III. Tell me what you fuckers think of that.
Dur piping in the pontiff. Gold pins. Okay, so somebody got one as a gift when they bought a date 8 recently. They got a gold 18 karat gold. I believe it was white gold because I think the watch was white gold. I think it was it Brett that bought it and got the pin as a gift? I think that's how that worked. They're out there. They're out there. My DuPont is they make them a couple of ways. They make them vermeil, which is 925 silver with a heavy gold plate on it. That's a good way to go. And then they make them that are just like a base metal with a heavy gold plate. They look really good. This one here, this one is not solid gold, but it's held up great. The plate on it and all has held up great. And it's got the lacquer on it. So I love the DuPont pins. No, I've had no issues with them whatsoever. So you might want to look at DuPont, and there's a bunch of them always on eBay. Get one in mint condition, you'll be good to go. AC3 has now officially been on Craig's channel. There you go. Yeah, he's never been on this channel. I've been on his channel like twice, but he's never been on this channel. So there you go. Trying to think what else. Oh, let me go back. Oh, yeah, this is good. This is good. This was his response to where I said that I didn't really care what they bought and so forth. I'm just trying to help them, just trying to give them guidance, right? And this was his response to that. Craig, I have no interest in any services offered by a pretentious narcissist. Thanks, though. And then I responded to him. I said, as the old saying goes, you can't lead a horse to water. And so, and Nick says, see, that's definitely an opinion, entirely subjective. Let's see if I even replied to that. I don't know if I replied to that or not. Oh yeah, here I replied. I said, nope, it's a fact. Just like a Lexus is a better car than a BMW or Mercedes, this is true. There is truth. Many delude themselves that there is not. Some products are simply better at achieving the task they are designed for. There are winners and losers. And then he responded, he says, Craig, no, that's just another opinion. They have their good and bad points, having had plenty of experience of all three. And I responded, not really. For example, the spring drive is more accurate, more robust, and has a smooth secondhand sweep, not a close call. So anyway, we're going back and forth. You guys can take a look. But yeah, these guys are clearly have been deluded and scammed by some of the luxury brands. Like, for example, Louis Vuitton. A lot of the stuff they make now is not very good. Years ago, many years ago, they made some really, really solid luggage and like steamer trunks and some things that were just really amazing. But over the years, they've gone way down in quality and still charge a super premium for their products, right? So there are much better options. But a lot of these people have been deluded to believe that some of these brand names are still as good as they once were. A lot of these brand names, they built up a brand for a reason. They were really high quality items. But in many cases, that's no longer the case. In many cases, there are much better options. Like, for example, Brief at Dance in the House, her purse that she bought from the leather shop is far superior to any purse that you would buy with the Louis Vuitton brand on it. Not even a close call. The hardware, the leather, the quality of construction, everything about it is far superior. Not even close, okay? Her purse will last literally a lifetime, and then she'll be able to hand it down to somebody, right? Just like a high quality saddle made by a saddlery. I mean, you can literally hand those things down to the next generation if you take good care of them, right? That's what she bought. And this faux pay, robust, extremely well made, robust. Okay. There are a lot of examples of better ways to go. This is probably a better way to go than buying some bracelet with the Tiffany name on it, right? That you might pay twice as much money for. Okay. So you got to be careful about being had by a luxury baron. Hello, Crappy. I think somehow Craig has you muted. He never is able to read your comments. Okay. Well, he'll have to come in on the Watches channel. Well, then we'll have to block him there. This is the Equatorian girl watching. LOL. Okay. And Craig, these guys drink soy milk and eat plant-based meat. Their brains are screwed up. Oh God. Yeah. Oh, Bree, do you have a picture of your purse that you can share in the Watches on the Watches channel? Do you have a nice picture? We can show it. We can show your purse. Let me see if it's on Flickr. Oh, speaking of nice things, here's her. Here are her moccasins from Town View Moccasin Company. Those are fantastic. All right, we get distracted here. Let me see if I can find the purse. Okay, here's a picture of Brianna posing with the purse. Here's one of her posing with the purse, but I don't have a close-up of the purse. But maybe she has one that she can share that's a closer shot of the purse. We're not making this stuff up, folks. This is the real deal. This is the real deal. Carlos says Durr's purse is very nice too. Okay. Let's see here. What else can we say about these Yamokes? Let me see if there's anything else. Oh, here we go. Here we go. And a follow-up comment. This moron, Matt. He says, CraigShipp. Yeah, that's right, Craig. Your Grand Seiko is more of a luxury watch than a George Daniels. And I responded to him. I said, now you're finally starting to understand. Remember, luxury is not about hype or trends. It's about owning the best items for a task. And so anyway, yeah. And here's the thing. Most of these people that post about these exotic watches, that are unreliable and expensive and not very well designed, The reason most of them have never owned one of those watches. And if they did, they've never worn them for any period of time, right? They've never actually used them and actually worn them on a daily basis. So what the hell are they? How can they possibly even comment on anything like that? They don't have any real world experience. They're a bunch of clowns, right? A bunch of clowns. If they do own one of those watches, it's probably a box watch. Okay, it's a box watch. Okay, so here is Bree. Here's another picture of Bree with the let me go here. Here's a picture of Bree, and it's from the leathershop.com. And but again, you don't have a picture just closer of just the purse. I thought we took some close-ups of that. If we didn't, we should do it. But look at the quality of the leather. And all that hardware is solid brass. Every stress point is secured with a rivet, with a brass rivet. Okay. And that latch, you literally pull up on there's a little round brass piece that you pull up on and it releases the latch. So the latch is extremely secure, but still easy to open and close and designed literally to last multiple lifetimes, right? That's one of the things that fails on a lot of purses is the latching mechanisms, however they're made, right? That's what fails on a lot of luggage and things like that, right? That has to be made right to hold up. Okay. Our wags, okay. Wait, I'm still not caught up here. Durs Price, okay. Our wags in the house. Sorry, I'm late. No worries. I'm sure you've been busy with all the turmoil in the markets. When Craig went on Archie's show, me and Chip Wrong trolled him with all our might, and he took it like a champ. There you go. And Chip, when are you heading to Sarasota? Good question. Good question. Don't know. Don't know. Still trying to. Bree, you just shared a picture, but it looks blurry. It looks blurry. Oh, there it goes. It got clear. Okay, here we go. Whoops. 2. There we go. There's a close-up of the purse. Now, you guys tell me how amazing is that? You really can't see the detailing on the handle that she's holding, but you can see some of the tooling and some of the detailing around the purse. And I mean, I wish you guys could see it in person. It's almost like a Grand Seiko, where you really have to see it in person to appreciate how that thing is made. And then you compare that to any of the designer purses. Compare that to any of them, and it ain't going to be a close call. Now, it's hard to find. You got to buy it directly from the leather shop. You're going to have to wait weeks to get it. You have to be in the know, right? This guy has no marketing budget. He doesn't do any marketing. All his marketing is like somebody like me talking about the purse, right? Just like Bitcoin. Bitcoin has no marketing budget. The only marketing it gets is people that are part of the network talking about it. It's all volunteer. There's no head office. There's no BMW. There's no Bitcoin main office. There are no Bitcoin employees. There's no Bitcoin board of directors. Okay. No Bitcoin marketing department. None of that. None of that. All volunteers. Dan McDermott is calling. He doesn't realize we're live. Jeez. All right, so we're live doing a show. Is it pressing? I'll call you. Yeah, I'll call you later. Bye. So you guys probably heard his ringtone come through. That's funny. It was ringing on the iPad. It probably came right through the broadcast. But yeah, that's an absolute stunner that the lovely Brief It Dance has. Now that just came through. I'm going to toggle back here. That came through on the chat section of the Watches channel. If I go back, I hit the back button here. This is the main page for the Watches channel, and you just push to talk on that button right there. So I could push right here. Testing 1, 2, 3. Testing 1, 2, 3. Now, I'm not sure if that worked because I've got this plugged through the system here. So I'm not sure if that broadcast properly because, again, this thing's outputted into the show, the live show. But you get the idea. It's a push-to-talk walkie-talkie. You can set it up as a toggle where you push and hold while you talk. No, I'm sorry, where you push and then you talk and then you push again when you're finished. Or you can, the default is you push and hold when you talk, just like a walkie-talkie, right? You got to hold it while you talk. I changed mine over to toggle because I don't want to have to sit there and hold
Please
it if I'm
confirm. Broadcast is confirmed. Over.
okay. So Carlos just confirmed the broadcast. Oh, Brief says we didn't hear it. Okay. Sorry to oh wait. Okay, I gotten behind here. Sad day in Maryland. 3 firefighters in Baltimore were killed in a fire yesterday. Oh, that's not good. Craig, who would win in a chess match, Putin or Biden? I don't think that's a hard one. I don't. That's not a hard one. Yeah. Sorry to hear there's several. Yes. We didn't hear it. Okay. All right. I got you. I got you. I'm with you. But at least you could see the demonstration. You could see how I pushed the button and what happened. So, I think we're good. I think we've been going for about 45 minutes. We started 15 minutes late. We've been going for about 45 minutes, but I think we've straightened some folks out. I think we've got some of the folks, some of the yamokes, straightened out a little bit in the forums. And you can see here, let me put this, let me get this enlarged. Oh, that's not a touch screen. I was trying to touch. You can see here the picture that I shared, one of the pictures that I shared to buttress my case. And again, these guys have to be just absolutely blind and or stupid to not understand what's going on. But check email. Okay, hold on, stand by. I don't have an assistant here today, but we'll do this. This is a well-fitting suit. This is a properly fitted suit. Okay, here on the channel, this is what you get. You get this kind of information. There you go. There you go. So to contrast against the silly tight fitting, now we've got a silly broad fitting. We'll call that a broad fitting suit. Can't make this stuff up. Can't make this stuff up on the channel. I'm not sure what this comment is. I can't read that, but can't make it up. All right, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to eat. I'm going to have some sweet potatoes, some black beans, and a few other things. Guys, don't feed into the bad information.
I love all my watches. I love all my watches. And I love gaming too, by the way. I do love gaming.
The Pontiff making an appearance on the show via the Watches app. Folks, spread the word, please, please. Spread the word to some of the cool kids, because some of the cool kids haven't learned about the Watches.
Request to end the show is denied. Request is denied. We cannot end now. We cannot end now.
That was Carlos chiming in on the Watches app. The way you get this thing is you go into the App Store. I did it on the iPhone. Those of you that sadly have Android phones, I can't tell you how to do it, but I'm sure there's some kind of a Play Store or something in Android, and you just search Zello, Zello, and it generally is described as a walkie-talkie app. It is a lot more than just a walkie-talkie app, though. It's a walkie-talkie app on steroids. And that's what I have piped into the show. I have it piped right into the show right now. So it is a walkie-talkie app on steroids. And once you get in there, once you set up your free account, it's all free. Everything I'm telling you here is free. Then you're going to add a channel. Go to add a channel and start by adding the Watches channel. All one word, Watches. and then go and add the Grand Seiko channel. Go ahead and add that, because that's always good. I believe it's all one word, Grand Seiko. I have a link in the description of this that goes to a blog post where I list all the
I want
channels.
to put it on record here. Shooter sucks. Shooter sucks.
I have a link in the description that you can go to, because sometimes it's pretty hilarious. The chatter back and forth in the watches channel on Zello, Zello. Again, it's a walkie-talkie app. Just search and install it, and you can monitor, and then you can toggle. Watch this. See where it says available there? If I tap that, now I'm busy. Now you're not going to hear the chatter, right? And so you can do that. Now, on my phone, I also have to use the mute button on the side. Like at night, I do that because you could still get a little chirp. Different settings for the notifications, right? But you could still get a little chirp. So I switched the little mute button on the side to mute, and then I hear nothing, right? So I do these two things. I make it busy, and then I use the mute switch. So now we're going to switch it back to available. And then I can go back, and this is what's really cool. Let me just show you this. I can go back. If I click on the speech bubble in the upper right, I can go back and I can play previous messages, right? I can go back in here and I can play any of these previous messages. Like here's one from Carlos.
Southern perimeter is under control. Under control. Over.
Okay, and that's
I'm at aboard Chesterfield III. Tell me what you fuckers think of that.
Okay, so you can see there that I can play back previous messages at any time. So I can get caught up on any of the chatter that happened in the past. You can go back in time, and when you hit play on one of those, it'll just play through. It'll keep playing until you stop it. So it'll play from one to the other. So if there was a conversation of several people like chattering back and forth, just like you do on a CB radio, right? You can sit there and you can play back and listen to it at your leisure, So everybody, thanks for watching. We're going to wrap it up. We made a lot of progress today. I still feel confident that we're going to be able to resolve all the world's problems here on the channel. And we're going to keep working at it until we achieve success. Success is what this channel is all about.